What if I told you the best way to change someone's mind is to stop trying? Socrates once said, "I cannot teach anybody anything. I can only make them think." Think about that, not convince, not argue, not win, just make them think. So why does that work? And how do we actually do it? Let's talk about it. You've probably been here before. You're talking to someone, maybe a friend, maybe family. They believe something that makes zero sense to you. You try explaining, you bring facts, you stay calm, or maybe you don't. But no matter what you say, nothing changes, and you leave thinking, how can they not see it? But here's the truth. They're thinking the exact same thing about you. Most people think changing someone's mind is about winning a debate, like it's chess. You make a move, they respond, you trap them, checkmate. But the truth is, nobody likes losing. So even if your logic is perfect, even if you do trap them, they'll just dig in deeper. Why? Because it's not really about facts, it's about identity, ego, belonging. When someone holds a belief, it's like armor, and if you attack it directly, they'll raise their shield every time. So what's the deeper problem? It's not that people don't want to know the truth, it's that they don't want to be shown they're wrong. So how do you get around that? That's where Socrates comes in. Socrates never tried to win arguments. He didn't preach. He didn't say, "Here's why I'm right." Instead, he asked questions, lots of them, and he did it with humility. Like this quote, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." It sounds simple, but it's powerful, because here's what Socrates understood. If you want someone to open up, you have to open up first. You have to drop the need to be right. That's the secret. Instead of pushing your truth, invite their curiosity. Let's say your uncle thinks climate change is a hoax. Instead of saying, "You're wrong, here's the data," what if you asked, "What convinced you of that?" Not in a sarcastic way, genuinely, with real curiosity. What happens? Now they're thinking. Now they're explaining. And in that process, they might hear themselves clearly for the first time. And maybe, just maybe, they'll notice a crack in their logic. But they have to discover it. You can't show it to them. Because people don't like being changed. But they're more open to changing themselves. That's the heart of Socratic method. He'd start a conversation with someone who was sure they knew something. And gently, calmly, he'd keep asking, "How do you know that? What do you mean by that? Is that always true?" No attacks, just questions. And it wasn't about winning. It was about helping people think better. Let's try a modern example. You're talking to someone who believes that success is all about luck. You could argue, no, it's about hard work, strategy, etc. Or you could try Socrates. Ask, what makes you say that? Do you know anyone who worked really hard and still failed? Do you think success is the same for everyone? Suddenly it's a conversation, not a lecture. They don't feel attacked, they feel heard. And in that space, real change can happen. You don't change someone's mind by proving them wrong. You do it by helping them discover what's true. And that means letting go of your ego. Being humble enough to say, "I don't know everything. Let's figure it out together." That's how Socrates did it. And 2,400 years later, it still works. Socrates once said, "Strong minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, weak minds discuss people." Let's pause on that. At first glance, it sounds judgmental, but it's actually a clue. Because if you're trying to change someone's mind, you need to pull the conversation up. Not into gossip, not into who said what, but into why we think the way we do. Let me show you what I mean. Say your colleague is complaining about the company. The boss is clueless. This place is a mess. They don't care about us. You might be tempted to either agree or defend, but neither path helps anyone think deeper. Try this instead. What do you think a good leader should do differently? Have you seen a place where it worked better? What do you think is really going wrong here? Now, we're not talking about people. We're talking about principles, ideas, systems, decisions. And here's the shift. When you focus on ideas, you create distance. You're not attacking anyone. You're not defending yourself. You're just thinking together. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you changed your mind? Not about a small thing, but about something that really mattered. What made that shift happen? It probably wasn't someone yelling at you. It was a moment, a question, an opening. That's what strong minds do. They give each other space to explore. And in that space, change can actually happen. So if the conversation's stuck in gossip or finger-pointing, don't fight it. Just raise the level. Talk about the idea behind the conflict. What matters? What could be better? It's slower, but it works. Because you're not forcing anyone to agree, you're helping them think bigger. Wisdom begins in wonder. That might sound poetic, but it's actually a tactic. Here's why. Most people come into a disagreement already armored up. They know what they believe. They're ready to defend it. But wonder disarms people. It's like saying, I don't have all the answers, but I'm curious. That's powerful. Because when you show you're still exploring, you invite them to explore too. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're a parent. Your kid says something wild, like, school is useless, I don't need it. Your instinct might be to correct them, explain how hard life is without an education, give them the talk. But Socrates would say, start with wonder. Why do you feel that way? What kind of life do you imagine without school? What would you want to learn if you could learn anything? Now, they're not being shut down. They're being invited to think. And maybe they'll realize they want more than they knew. You might be wondering, isn't this just letting people say whatever they want? No, it's not passive, it's patient. Because here's the thing, if you rush the process, you lose them. People don't change their minds when they're cornered. They change when they feel safe enough to ask, what if I'm wrong? That's the role you play. Not the explainer, not the enforcer, the question asker, the mirror holder. That's Socratic. You offer a spark and they light their own way forward. It doesn't always happen right away, sometimes not even during the conversation. But days later they might be lying in bed and a question you asked floats back to them. And something shifts. That's how real change works. It's not flashy, it's not loud. It's quiet, slow, and rooted in respect. You don't win minds by out-talking people. You win minds by waking up their wonder. Let's be honest. Not changing someone's mind can cost us more than we think. Not just in politics, not just online, but in our real lives. We lose friendships, we grow distant from family, we stop talking to people we love because we don't know how to talk to them anymore. We avoid hard conversations because we think they'll never listen. But what if the problem isn't them? What if the problem is how we're showing up? Socrates said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." It's a heavy quote, but it cuts deep, because when we refuse to examine why we believe what we believe or how we talk to others, we're just repeating patterns, avoiding discomfort, missing real connection, and sometimes it's too late. Sometimes we only realize what we lost after someone's gone, and that door we never opened can't be opened anymore. This isn't about being right, it's about staying human with each other, even when we disagree, especially then. So, how do you actually change someone's mind? 1. Ask questions, not to trap, but to understand. I cannot teach anybody anything, I can only make them think. Instead of explaining, invite them in. Instead of proving, wonder together. 2. Focus on ideas, not people. Strong minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, weak minds discuss people. Don't let the conversation get stuck in blame or drama. Lift it, even gently. 3. Let go of being right. Stay curious. Wisdom begins in wonder. If you want someone to soften, you have to soften first. And if there's one thing you can try today, it's this. In your next disagreement, ask one honest question. Not to win, not to steer, just to see. Because that one question might do more than any argument ever could. Here's the last quote I'll leave you with. To find yourself, think for yourself. And maybe help someone else do the same. What's one belief you've never questioned? Could you? Drop it in the comments. Let's wonder a little, together. If this made you think, like, comment and subscribe if you want more videos like this. And turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you want this saved as a document, formatted for voiceover, or adapted into a YouTube video caption script.